Wondered why the market always goes against you? Many times after you've bought a share, then share prices started to drop. Is it because that the market doesn't like you? How do we overcome this situation then? M+Wiz, which alerts on potential entry for trending stocks, might do the trick for you. Is that all for the Wiz feature? Not at all. To find out more, please visit us at mplusonline.com/wiz.
Hi, good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. All right, it's LK here with you guys today. Good afternoon. All right. Today is the last day of February. Okay, and we had quite a volatile market today. All right, let me share my screen with you guys right now. Right. Okay. Okay. All right. We can see that today, on the last day of February, we are seeing our FBM KLCI actually posted quite a solid gains. Earlier of today's action, the KLCI was hovering above 1600 levels, up by 13 to 14 points early in the morning. Okay, unfortunately, the gains reduced. Okay, we are seeing some profit taking activities came in with the selling in the with the weakening sentiment across the global indexes. Okay, in this morning, the sentiment was lifted up with the strong gains of US indexes on last Friday. We are seeing US indexes went up. Indexes went up more than 1+% to 2% last Friday. Okay, however, this morning with the escalating tensions of the Ukraine-Russian warfare issue, the US Dow Jones, the US Dow futures actually opened gap downs with a strong selling. All right. Okay. However, we our blue chips index still more position in for the bullish movement on last Friday. Okay, while for the speculative part, we can see the overbroad market actually the sentiment is weaker. Okay, compared to the FBM PLC, we can see our blue chips index still solidly going up this morning, while the number of counters, the decliners are actually more than the gainers. Okay, yep. So in this kind of situation, I believe many of you guys are wondering what are the sectors or what are the stocks to focus. I would advise that try to reduce the positions, the exposure on the speculative stocks, but focus more on the blue chips and also those solid fundamental kind of counters. Okay, because at this point we do not know what are the development that might happen on the Ukraine Russia side and also with other Western countries. All right, but what we can know is if there is any selling down, I would say most of almost every stocks will sell down with if there's any major events happens, the selling off. Okay, most of the counters will be on the selling down, and the blue chips are the one that will be least impacted among all. And when there is any rebound, the blue chips are the one that will be leading the rebound most of the time. Okay, yeah. So I would say that try to focus on the blue chips and also the solid fundamental counters. Okay, at this period of time. Okay, to reduce your risk exposure. Yeah. All right. If we look into some of the top gainers today, we can see today the one that's still dominating the markets will still be the plantation. Okay, will still be the plantation that is lifting our local FPM KLCI. Okay, if we look into some of the counters, okay, across the top gainers, we can see there are quite a number like United Plantations, like Taan, like Sarawak Oil Palm. All these are the names that appeared on our top gainers and actually move higher despite that the overall sentiment are weaker. Okay, but do bear in mind that most of the plantation companies, plantation counters, they have already announced their result that due in February. Today is the last day of February. Okay, the the only left few that haven't announced will be FGV. Okay, FGV is still for the to release their result by today. Okay, so besides of FGV, um, there will be Kim Long Laxman, Cam Long. Okay, so these are some of the one that might still potential. Okay, for trading. All right. Okay, so if we look into the FGV chart wise, we can see for FGV it's actually a very solid consolidation breakout. Okay, a very solid consolidation breakout. As for Camlong White, you can see it had a pullback and continued break higher on the break of 1.94 ringgit, and today it broke above the 2 ringgit mark. Okay, so if you are still interested in plantation counters, FGB will be for very short term one, while the Camlong you can try to look into it for the continuation trading until the result in March. Okay, yeah, and with the escalated tension in the Russia side, despite that, we are seeing quite a muted reaction on our energy stocks today. Um, the U.S. oil after hitting the hundreds, the oil's price after hitting the 100 points mark and retraced, and today it back to the 100 points level. Okay, that's why on our daily pick today we actually have included some of the oil and gas counter. okay, to see if there is any opportunities that the buying going to continue for the momentum move. However, that is not the case that happening, okay, but we do still want to monitor closely on the oil and gas side to see if there is any further buying pressure resurfacing, if the oil price continue to pressure upwards, okay. In this kind of under current circumstances, commodity stocks are the one that still remain under the spotlight. Let it be plantations or the energy one, okay, that we still want to look into it for trading. Okay, yeah. So if we look into FBM KLCI, if we look into our local index FBM KLCI wise, we can see that. Let me remove some of the. Okay. We can see for our local index FBM KLCI, after the bottoming at 1485 area, okay, we are seeing it has trend higher, and right now it's continue to test the high at 1605. This morning the highest it went is 1613. Okay, and right now it's actually a 14 points lower from the high already. Okay, uh, so for those who are trading aggressively today, they have to be aware that with the retreating retreating from the high on our FBM KLCI, this might turn into a significant shooting star candlestick pattern, and then the sell down might come in and pressure back lower to the 1565 area in short term. Okay, if we do not see any strong rebound happening later today or tomorrow, then we might see further weakening in our local index, and then that might lead to 1565. Okay, so I would say this week, if we do not see any strong buying on today tomorrow, then this week is likely um, the month of March is likely to kickstart with a weaker note. Okay, so for those who are wanted to do some bargain hunting, you miss the chance to buy on Thursday, to buy on the cheap price, then you might want to hold on a little bit and see if you're able to get some good some long-term stocks on at a good price later by end of this week or early next week. Okay, do monitor closely that we might see a further selling pressure happening right over here. Okay, FBM KLCM might continue trade in a sideways range between 1570 and also 1615 area. Okay, especially we are seeing some of the selling pressure coming in after trading as high as 1613 this morning. Okay, however, we do not ignore the fact that the FBM KLCI is going on a potential uptrend. So if upcoming today or these 2 days, we are seeing the FBM KLCI manage to cover the tail and then trade higher above 1615, then we might see a further buying pressure towards 1640 or even 1695 if the bullish move is really strong enough. Okay, so if we are seeing the indication of a strong bullish is above 1615 on our FBM KLCI, then FBM KLCI might lead the overall markets towards even a higher level to 1640 and 1695. Okay, so do take note the development of our FBM KLCI and the directions. Okay, so we have pretty much a short-term direction for the FBM KLCI. If we do not see strong buying in the next 2 days, then it's likely we are seeing more profit taking coming in. And for those who want to trade long term, you might want to wait a little bit to take position. While for those who are trading on speculative short term trading, you might want to reduce some of your exposure. Okay. However, if like what we were saying, if the buying break above 1615 on our FBM KLCI, then we might see the market turns into aggressive buying. Then we want to chase high and then do some short-term trade along with it. Okay, and even able to position some of the swing trading in these positions at this timing. Okay, so that will be the overall view for our FPM KLCI and the potential directions and also the sentiment development for this week. Yeah. Okay, so if we look into some of the sectors that we are looking very closely, okay, you can see that on our daily peak, we actually focus on quite a few sectors. Okay, one of it is definitely plantations. Okay, we have some plantations in our daily peak today, and you can see upon the breakout today, we are seeing quite a strong movement all the way until 1509. Okay, but what we are seeing right here is the formation is pretty much similar with our FPM KLCI, which is the were gains were unsustainable. Okay, with this shooting star, we are projecting that sand plantation is likely to have further selling pressure, profit taking coming in, especially after the recent rally in February from 350 all the way until to 5 ringgit. Okay, so this is a rally of near to 50%, and it's, I would say that for it to retrace back to this area is pretty much normal. Okay, pretty much normal for it to retrace even to 4 ringgit 40 cents to 50 cents area. Okay, so if we are seeing some of the profit taking happening on the sun plantations, that might lead into some of the profit taking in other plantation counters as well. Okay, let's say if we look at those bigger one like okay, we actually are start to seeing some of the upper tail is in the forming. Okay, if we look at bee plants, okay, you can see many of them started to form an upper tail right over here. SOP is a little bit, but this is actually a sign which telling us that the buying momentum, the buying momentum and the rush for people to buy might be weakening for plantation counters, because many would see that the plantation counters has make such a strong move in a short time frame, and buying it, the buying movement could be quite overextended at this time. Okay, so for once the bigger ones like sun plantation started to pull back, I would believe those smaller plantation counters, they will follow as well. Okay, so for those who are trading plantation counters, you might want to be careful. Okay, and want to be prepared if there is any potential pullback in the plantation counters share price. Okay, all right. Okay, the smaller one we can see they are still not reflecting yet. Okay, but we are also seeing some of upper tails are forming. Okay, so besides the plantations, we also monitor very closely like what we were saying on the energy sectors. Okay, but for the energy sectors, energy counters like hibiscus, we are seeing the upward move is pretty much overlapping. Okay, this is like what is happening on the plantation counters, the rally and then the upper tail form, and then it's likely to have the chances of it to retrace further is higher than it's going upwards. Okay, so despite the US oil back hitting the 100-point marks today, we are not seeing the energy sector, the oil counters are reacting accordingly. Okay, like if we see Dayang is on a downtrend because of the results. If we see Charimin, we are not seeing the rebound, so the buying are not there. Okay, so at this point, I would say the energy stocks would remain the trade. It will be still attractive for the traders to trade it. Okay, but we need to like really time it really correctly, and we hit C money and then we want to get out. Okay, Yeah, so for this moment, I would say for trading and oil counters, all this is better to on a risk off moods and then look for short term trading. Trade, see money, and then get out. All right. So besides the oil and gas and also plantations, we also looking into banking. Okay, the banking sector is one that's getting quite a number of trading just recently, especially last Friday. We are seeing CIMB having a further breakout this morning, and Pertama, one of the potential winner of the digital banking. Okay, we are seeing it's holding well along with the 30 days moving average and set up for a potential breakout and spikes. Okay, besides that, personally, I also looking at RHB Bank, which form a quite good pullback formation and try to pressure higher. Okay, like just what happened right over here on the 9th of February when I was signaling you guys. Okay, so we can see the formation are pretty much similar with the resistance at 5 ringgit 89 cents. Okay, if we look at other banks like public bank, we are seeing the upwards by buying as well. Maybank this morning pressuring higher and then some selling off. Hong Leong Bank. Okay. The buying interest on bank are there. Okay. But given the profit taking happening on the index, okay, amid a weaker sentiment, we might also see some pullback on the bank stocks as well. Okay. But if the index are able to hold, I would believe that banking is one of the sector that might move strongly. Okay, once the sentiment recover, given that the Feds are expected to increase their rates in the month of March, which is two plus weeks late from now, and also we are also looking into a digital banking announcement for those who are waiting for the digital banking license coming in end of the first quarter. Okay, so they are still catalysts for the banking stocks. Hence, banking stocks is one that we want to look into it, closely. Okay, especially like for trading wise, will be more towards like CMB. Okay, all right. So for other trading counters, like price star on the steel related, the building material steel related counters, um, these are also our monitor inside our monitoring list because we are monitoring if it's the the disruptions of the logistics sites after with the warfare will affect the supply and demand for the steel. So commodities remain the strong the commodity stocks are remains to be the sectors that we are monitoring very very closely at this point. Okay, all right. So for Miss No Artica, they're asking about plantation counters. Okay, SH chunks. Okay, this is more towards not that popular uh one that people trade. Okay, we are seeing after the strong volume happening on 24th, which okay, which the spike with the oil and gas price as well. We are not seeing the buy interest in SH chunks. Even we early in the morning we have see quite a number of plantation counters like FGV have the breakout. TH plantation I also see the breakouts all this, but it's not happening on SH chunks. So for this one, I would say that if there is any rebound, it's better to reduce position or just get out due to a lower liquidity on this counter and lacking of interest, especially if the profit taking activities are cited on the plantation sectors, then all this larger one, all this smaller one will be having the problem of lack of liquidity. There's no buyer, and you will have to throw it at a very bad price. Okay, Miss Nautica. Okay, for TH plantations wise, okay, TH plantation, it had break above the 94 cents resistance. Okay, technically it looks nice, and then it might continue pressure higher to one ringgit round number figure at this point. Okay, and we can see the volume also catching up. The volume, today's volume is just half day is hitting near the recent high. So if the buying momentum continues, then we are likely to see today's volume to be higher than any of the previous day, and that is actually a good signal. It's telling us that people are buying into it on this breakout, and the move might continue. Okay, yeah, but if the sentiment, profit taking activities all this weaken in the plantation sector, then we might see TH plant is touch and go nearby the 1 ringgit levels and then retrace from there. Okay, so that would be my view on the plantation counters. Okay, we can see generally on the plantation index, we are seeing the upper tail forming. Okay, so the next 2 days are actually pretty much crucial for our FPM KLCI and also plantation index. Okay, as for Mr. Cha, okay, you're asking my news and also as SNC. Okay, we can see my news are actually hitting the support level at 80 cents level. Okay, at this point, although the consumer stocks is one of my favorite right now because I'm pretty much buying into the recovery scheme, like the tourism, like the consumers, all this. Okay, with our minister are looking on the border reopening, the solving all the issue with all this VTL, okay, to spur the nation economics through reopening the tourism. So hence that will lift up the consumer stocks and also the tourism related stocks. Okay, but for my news point at this point, it's hitting the support and we are not seeing any sign of rebound yet. All right. Okay, so if you wish to collect for my news, okay, at the support, this is definitely one of the support that you can, if you want to try, you can position in small, okay, but the reversal and rebound signal will only come above 87 cents. Okay, so if you're buying somewhere around here, then maybe you have to set your stop loss at 5 to 6 cents lower at 75 cents. Okay, so at this point my news is still on a more towards a topish pattern and then might trade lower from here if the trend continues. Okay. Okay. As for SNCY, we can see SNC, you can see from my chart, SNC has been hitting on the resistance 63.5 and 67 cents. It's just going on sideways and then keep testing on the high. So it's basically a ranging block happening right here with the support at 51 cents. Okay, so for the ranging situations, the strategy can be collect at 50, 51 cents and then sell it when it trades above 60 cents to 63, or even if you are greedy, you're looking for 66, 67 area. Okay, but at this point there's no strong direction for SNC but just ranging. Okay, at this moment. Okay, Wendy is looking on Tonghe and Cycom. Okay, okay, we can see Tonghe at quite a strong reverse right over here. Okay, but overall it's on trending. The volume, upward trending. The volume has come in. Okay, but we do aware that Tonghe is a low liquidity, less active kind of counter. So the selling down right over here, it might due to the lack of buyers. Okay, so with this kind of counters, if we the next 2 days it wouldn't be surprised that the buying suddenly will go back to 3.25 cents or even trade higher. Okay, so for Tonghe wise, it's forming a bottoming and then it might trend higher from here. Okay, but you have to bear the risk that this is less liquid stocks and that the P&L swing might be bigger because every time you want to get in and get out, it will be tough. Okay, Cycom wise is breaking from the ranging of 418 cents and then continue to stay above. Okay, it looks positive, but the buying pressure has actually slowed down. Okay, we can see the selling pressure has a stronger volume right over here happening on the 24th, and it might go back into a ranging mode right here if the price break trade below 1918 cents, 1 ringgit 18 or 1 ringgit 19 cents. Okay, so if it consistently stay below 1 ringgit 18 cents, then you might want to reduce your positions, and for longer term traders you might want to buy back at 1 ringgit 12 cents at a lower price. Okay, Ray is looking at BP Plastic. Okay, I would say BP Plastic is trading on quite an uptrend happening right over here. We are seeing hammers, all these things indicating the buying interest. Okay, we are seeing a shooting star, but the next day is still pressuring into the upper tail, which indicating the tendency of profit taking is lesser. So for BP Plastic, the overall outlook is pretty much positive right over here, and it might test to 1 ringgit 73 to 75 cents area, or even up to 1 ringgit 85 90 cents area for BP Plastic. Okay. The next will be both states. Okay, for both states wise, we are seeing that if form bottom at 53 cents. Okay, at this point, technical outlook actually quite okay. With this, we are seeing the potential continuation upside on both states towards 68 cents to 75 cents on both states. Okay. Okay. Kinbun is surprised that Genting Malaysia dropped today. Actually, this morning, Genting Malaysia had quite a good move earlier. Okay, we can see it hits the another resistance that I marked at 3.07, and then it formed into a shooting star. All right. I would say that the profit taking in Genting Malaysia is not really that surprising. One of the reason is because for those who entered on Friday or even Thursday, bargain hunting on Thursday, today would be the T2 for them already. Okay, especially for those who entered on Thursday for the bargain hunting and speculative buying on the selling down. Okay, so with the overall global sentiment to be weak at this point, so a short-term profit taking is pretty much within expectation to happen. Okay, especially for the stocks that for the past 2-3 days has been rallied. Okay, these people who are in the profits, who are in the money, they want to take out the position. Okay, so I would say today Genting Malaysia is more towards profit taking, but we know that the reopening border, the special dividends scheduled for Genting Malaysia, all this should support the share price for Genting Malaysia. So personally, I would say that Genting Malaysia should hold above 2 ringgit 90 cents area, and then it might continue to pressure back into this area, or even trend higher to 18 cents 20 cents, especially if the reopening borders thing has confirmed. Okay, so overall, I'm still holding a quite a positive view on Genting Malaysia. Rather, even today we are seeing a shooting star happening. Okay, it actually gives some of those who miss it a chance to buy it when it retraces lower. Okay, maybe at 2 ringgit 92 cents. Okay. One is asking about Dongguan and CAB. Okay, for Dongguan wise, we are seeing Dongguan has been on selling down, especially after it was capped at 2 ringgit 90 cents, triple top we are seeing here. And the break of midpoint at 2 ringgit 60 cents, and then we see the further selling down. At this point, it hits the minor support at 2 ringgit 32 cents, and we are seeing further selling to potential further downside to 1 ringgit 95 cents to 2 ringgit 08 area. Okay, so for BP Plastic, nothing much. Sorry, for Tongguan, nothing much to say, but it might continue to trend lower. Okay, for Tongguan, and then for CAB wise is trading on sideways. Actually, the sideways trading. Okay, but the volume recently at this point at 54.55 cents has been consistent. Okay, so we might see a breakout above the 55 cents and then have a further rally to the next level, maybe at 67 cents area for CAB. Okay, Miss Chua is asking about overseas. Overseas, we are seeing quite a good volume coming for overseas at this area. And then when it was trading at 9.5 cents area, we are seeing quite a number of spike on the volume. Okay, I would say these are some of the accumulation signals, and the buying signals has really come in with the breakout above 14 cents, the upward trending. Okay, breakout, pullback, rebreak. Okay, so for overseas, I would say that the upward potential are there until 19.5 cents to even until 24.5 cents. Okay, for overseas, but do take note that this is a penny stocks, and this is more towards speculative buying, and if the market there's any negative news happening across the global indexes markets, then it could be impacted as well. Okay, Mr. Tan is asking about Anju. Okay, Anju is one of the steel counters. Okay, for Anju wise, we are seeing a string of selling down after it hits the 2 ring 18 cents level. Okay, and find the support. I would say the support is 1 ring 81 cents, but the actual support, it might only come at 1 ringgit 65 cents to 1 ringgit 70 cents area. Okay, so if it able to hold at 1 ringgit 81 82 cents, forming a bottom and rebreak higher, then this would form a higher low bottoming, and we might see a further buying interest coming in, especially if it breaks to above 1 ringgit 18 cents, and this could be a strong move, a strong swing to 2 ringgit 80 cents, 40 cents to 2 ringgit 80 cents area. Okay, but at this moment, we are seeing the failure of rebound higher and then the sell down. Okay, so what we can hope is the Anju to hold well and form a higher low at 1 ringgit 80 cents area, and the rebreak 2 ringgit 20 cents before we are seeing the continuation of the upward move. Okay, so at this moment, the outlook for Anju is pretty much weak as of right now. Okay, we're gonna take the last one for today, which is the SamCam. Okay, the SamCam, we are seeing the SamCam continue pressure higher with recent strong results, but we are seeing the selling pressure consistently coming in at 1 ringgit area. Okay, and we can see that there are more upper tilts happening right over here. So the buying interest for SamCam might be weaker than expected. Okay, so if the global index or our blue chips index reverse and having more profit taking, then we might see selling pressure on SamCam to 91 cents or even to hover around 84-85 cents area for SamCam. Okay, so I'm gonna take the one last question where Mr. Chia is asking about the MACD divergence on the BP plastic. Okay, yeah, this is the bullish divergence that we are seeing on the BP plastic, where even though the price is forming a lower low, but we are seeing MACD is forming a higher low, which telling us the selling momentum has eased off, and when it break higher over here at 1 ringgit 48 cents, we are seeing further buying pressure happening. Okay, for BP plastic. So this is the MACD divergence signal that I drew earlier on when I was looking into BP plastic. Okay, so to wrap up what we have discussed today is we are still focusing very much well on the commodity stocks, but after recent rally on the plantations, we might see some and also we are seeing some weakness in the price movement on plantation stocks. We might see further profit taking activities happening on the plantation stocks. All right. This instead of plantation stocks, we might look back into the energy stocks with the oil hitting the 100 point marks, and also the oil counters has moved make quite a few days of pullback already. Okay, so it might come to the support and start rebounding if the oil price continue to be solid and strong. Okay, besides these two, we are also looking into other counters like the banking one, okay, like the banking counters, uh, and also some of the recovery play. Okay, so that will be for our focus this for this week, and we are also monitoring very closely on the development of the FPM KLCI because with the shooting star happening on FPM KLCI today, a further weakness might be in place. Okay, if we do not see a strong rebound happening later today or tomorrow. Okay, so do mark very closely for FPM KLCI. If the FPM KLCI not able to rebreak 16-15 area, we might see a further profit taking happening across the markets and come to 6 15 65 area for the blue chips for our local blue chips index. Okay, so that will be all for our section today. And thank you very much for joining our sections. And please do like us and also share our video out if you think that our section helps you to have a better idea of what's happening on our local index on our market this week. All right. Thank you very much. And we shall see you next week. Thank you.